Postmodern Nazism in the arts, a perverse recursion of privilege. The modern and postmodern arts have, for decades, strutted under banners of subversion, critique, and radicality. Yet on inspection, these banners are stitched from the same fabric as the old hierarchies they claim to dismantle. Behind the facades of rebellion, irony, and institutional critique, there remains only privilege performing privilege, an ouroboros of narcissism that feeds upon its own hollow gestures. Duchamp submits a urinal and calls it art, but it is not the urinal that is radical. It is the fact that the right man submitted it to the right audience at the right time and could not be refused. Foucault dissects power, yet ascends into the pantheon of academic power himself, becoming a luxury accessory to the very institutions he diagnosed as death machines. Debord denounces the spectacle, only to find his work repackaged, sold, mythologized as the purest product of the spectacle itself. The ritual of denunciation becomes part of the commodity form. Resistance is marketed back to the masses as their own pacification. Sartre writes against the bourgeoisie, but his every movement is saturated in bourgeois context. His cafe philosophies, his academic accolades, his publishing circles. He was the very class he imagined he had transcended. Thus, the radical intellectual in Europe becomes a court jester, a prized mascot, a prestigious brand of domesticated nihilism. The visual arts follow the same structure. Banksy is Duchamp inverted for the Instagram age, a mascot of pseudo-rebellion, producing digestible slogans for real estate speculators, oligarchs, and marketing firms. The tragedy is not simply that these figures were co-opted. The deeper tragedy is that their co-option was inevitable from the start. The social body, capitalist, Eurocentric, post-war, had already metabolized rebellion as its own engine. There was no outside from which to criticize. The moment one spoke, that one became a vendor. The myth of democratic taste, why privilege is the only idea left. In the visual arts, the intellectual claims this is about ideas, about deconstruction, about destabilizing norms, are camouflage for a brutal economic truth. Recognition is not earned by the merit of the idea. Recognition is pre-selected through invisible, inherited networks of wealth, race, class, and power. If Duchamp presents the urinal, it is hailed. If the outcast presents it, it is discarded as madness, as vandalism, as nothing. Thus, the idea never mattered, only the body presenting the idea. And so, in the grand postmodern arts festival of Europe, the only persistent, reproducible, transmittable idea is this: privilege. The rest, theory, irony, deconstruction, radicality, are affectations. They are costumes that privilege wears to entertain itself.